Welcome to Don't Play with Matches. We are at the Bessemer's Explosive Jabs Arena. Established 1963, and we are at full capacity here. All 775 seats are filled. We're here for a wrestling match. Well, wrestling card. Depending on if you're old school or not. We're going to the wrestling matches. All right, let's get started with our very first fight. Let's see here. I'm not sure how good of a fight, good of a match this is going to be. But we will see. We have Bill Goldberg taking on Goldust. Yeah. Wonder if Terry Runnels is in here. Or whatever her name was. When she was his manager. What was her name? It was an M, right? No. What was... Marlena. Right? No. No manager. Okay, well, let's see. This should be a joke, but hey, this is the first start. Any knowledgeable wrestling fan knows that Bill Goldberg is going to win this match. Let's see how long Goldust can last. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. That's way over there, isn't it? Can we move that over here to the middle? That'd be nice. Let's see. Goldberg with a flying headbutt and going for the pin. A one. No, just a one count. Good. We moved it. It's too early for a submission. Goldberg punches to the face. The referee is at the 5 count. Letting it go on. No disqualification yet. Goldust still doing his stuff. Goldberg with a body slam and going for a pinfall. Not even a 1 count. Goldust is like, come on. Goldberg hits a spike pile driver. 1, 2. No, Goldust kicks out. Says his nickname is the Bizarre One. This is a spike pile driver, though. That's kind of a move that you don't think Goldberg could do. He flings Goldust around the ring, goes for the pin. 1, 2. Nope, Goldust kicks out. Goldberg's putting on the damage, though. Uh-oh. He shoves Goldust face first into the ring post. Goldust has a deep laceration on his lip. He's beginning to bleed. Goldberg, dirty fighter, kicks Goldust below the belt and goes for the pin. 1, 2. Nope. Goldust kicks out. We're at the 10-minute mark. Goldberg hits a clothesline. Going for the count. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg with a pin over Goldust in 11 minutes and 25 seconds with a clothesline. That's what I like best about this game. You know, like in real life, if these two really fought, yeah, Goldberg would probably win. That's more than likely true. But he wouldn't just win from a clothesline. He would have to do the spear jackhammer. You know, because everybody has to do their finishers. They have to get in their moves. And that you know, I like it better this way. Right? Well, anyway, the game gives that a 2.5-star rating. Kind of high for my opinion. But what do I know, right? Okay, that's match number 1. This isn't going to be a through shot. I'm going to pause it between each match. So, but for you, it'll be almost instantaneous. So here we go. Getting the ring cleaned up for match number 2. Okay, we're back with... We're going to pick out match number 2. Just to show you that I'm, you know... Okay, we need to go way down. This is from Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling TV show. We have the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, taking on one of the heels from that show. Big John Studd. With manager. I might not use him for anything, but Bobby the Brain Heenan. Okay, so there we go. We've got Snuka and Studd. And eeny, meeny, miny, mo, my mother says to pick. Well, never mind, you get the point. So they don't know who's going to win this. All right. I don't know either. I know Snuka's ridiculously overpowered sometimes in this game. I've seen it in other people's stuff. I only saw him near the end, so I'm not real sure, but let's see. There was a request for John Studd to fight Andre the Giant on this card, but Studd was already booked to fight Jimmy Superfly Snuka. So what we're watching for here is not only who's going to win and how they do it, but let's see if Snuka can pull off a body slam, because that was a big deal for Big John Studd. Only two people, I think, were able to body slam him. Andre and Hogan. Of course, Hogan can slam anybody, but Andre did it for real. So let's see. All right, just a little bit of offense here. Snuka, looking for the death leap early, but it's countered. Interesting. Studd with a body slam. No, we're not going to use the manager quite yet. That'll just result in a disqualification in 5 minutes. We want this to go for a little bit. Studd has a hold of the trunks, going for the pin. 1 after a low blow. Gets a 1 count. Snuka's... Well, we know all about Jimmy Snuka, don't we? He's got a head harder than a coconut. Yes, that was intentional. And, I mean, come on, he's an actual killer, so... Studd with a clothesline, going for the pin. 1. 2. Ooh, Snuka kicks out. Okay. All right. Throat chop. Studd's going for the illegal pin. He's got the ropes. The referee doesn't see it. 1. 2. No. And Snuka kicks out. Snuka with a headbutt. That's a way for him to get back in it. This is all John Studd, by the way. I actually don't mind that. Studd counters the death leap again. Studd hits the backbreaker. The third number is a 0 on the submission, so not quite yet. Snuka kicks Studd in the midsection and then goes for a pin. Studd seems stunned. 1, 2, 2 count. No. Oh, he almost got the 3 count. I guess that's a legitimate 1, 2, ooh. Okay. Studd with a kick to Snuka's belt. He's going for the pin. 1, 2. No, Snuka kicks out. No, we're still not going to do that. Snuka hits a DDT on the outside of the ring. Or, I'm sorry, Studd does that. Snuka with the death leap. He hits it out of nowhere. Studd is extremely stunned. 1, 2, 3. Jimmy Snuka out of nowhere steals the pin in a match that's 3 stars out of 5 in 20 minutes and 34 seconds. Maybe I should have called for Bobby Heenan there. I don't know. But there you go. Snuka with a steal of a win here. Post-match action. John Studd is mad. Oh, but Snuka scares him away. Maybe he had like a knife or something. So there you go. That's match number 2. The fans are loving it. The Smarks aren't. Anyway, we will be back with another match soon. Okay, we are here for match number 3. I know that the creator of the game isn't really going to like this one, but I will do my best to treat it with respect. We have Wendi Richter. And she will be fighting Velvet McIntyre. I'm pretty sure Velvet McIntyre is the sister of Jake the Snake Roberts and Sam Houston. But here we go. Matchup analysis. Heavy favorite. The only person in this arena who thinks Wendi Richter won't win this match is Velvet McIntyre. And even she is not sure. Okie dokie. Well, let's see. So we have Velvet McIntyre and Wendi Richter. Wendi Richter famously was one of the stars of WrestleMania 1. Velvet McIntyre, I know she was at the first Survivor Series, but I don't remember much else. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Wendi hits the sunset flip immediately. 1, 2. Ropes. McIntyre finds the ropes in a minute. McIntyre hits a pile driver, going for the pin on Wendi Richter. Upset the world. 1, 2. Oh, Wendi Richter barely gets out. That was all right. Okay, Richter with a body press. 1, 2. Nope. McIntyre kicks out. So we're good action here. Richter is putting on the damage all of a sudden. Oh, McIntyre takes over. Hits her forearm shiver is countered by Wendi Richter. Richter turns it into a snap suplex and a pin attempt. 1, 2. No, McIntyre kicks out. McIntyre's given more of a show than everybody thought. She hits her own snap suplex. Now she's going for the pin on Wendi Richter. Richter kicks out it before even the 1 count. McIntyre with the sunset flip, though. Richter dizzied. 1, 2. Wow, Richter almost didn't kick out there. McIntyre is showing that maybe this isn't as foregone conclusion as they thought. And, okay, they collide, tumble through the ropes, hit the floor. They don't get back in. The referee has to count them both out. Double count out draw. 1.5 stars out of 5. This might be a rematch in the future because I think Velvet McIntyre was showing more than people thought she could. So, well, that's the next match. Coming up, we've got some more big attractions coming, including the big main event rematch from our last card, a no DQ brawl between Ivan Putski and George the Animal Steele. That will be our main event. All right, here we go. We have a tribute match. We have the big cat, Ernie Ladd. Why wouldn't that be something? And he will fight Mongo McMichael, Steve McMichael. And is Deborah in here? Wow, that just kind of kicked right off, didn't it? No, she's not. Okay. Well, Steve McMichael recently passed away. So I recently did the 85 NFL season with him and the Bears. And now we're going to do a wrestling match with another former football player, Ernie Ladd. Mongo is a former Mongo is a former football player And then when he came to WCW in the 90s, he was a member of the Four Horsemen. And let me tell you, nobody was more proud of being a Four Horseman than Steve McMichael. And he is a former U.S. champion. He beat Jeff Jarrett for the title. So here we go. Now, prediction. Heavy favorite is Ernie Ladd. Maybe Ladd gets cocky and makes a bad mistake at some point, but that's McMichael's only shot here. That's fine. I just wanted to put him up against a former football player. Maybe I picked one that was too good. But rest in peace, Mongo. Here we go. Ernie Ladd with a flying punch. Tries for the 3 count. 1, 2. Mongo barely kicks out. McMichael goes for the 3-point clothesline. Ladd counters it. Locks in a figure 4, but it's too early for submissions. McMichael just taking punishment. He does counter the boot to the face, so that's good. McMichael clotheslines Ernie Ladd off the ring apron, knocking him to the arena floor. Punches. McMichael uses the ropes for leverage after an illegal low blow. 1, 2. Ladd barely kicks out. Barely. That third number, he needed a 3 to get the pinfall, and it rolled a 5. Wow. Ladd with the knee across McMichael's forehead, going for the pinfall. 1. No. McMichael. 2. And McMichael barely kicks out. So these guys are really beating each other up here. McMichael, flying leg drop. Ladd's foot was on the ropes, and the referee saw it. McMichael's foot's on the ropes. The referee doesn't see it after a vicious chop. Ladd's going for the illegal pin. 1, 2, 3. Gets the pinfall. McMichael's foot was on the ropes. So Steve did lose, but there's controversy. In 8 minutes and 36 seconds, and the game gives that a 2 stars out of 5. Oh well. That's our tribute match to Steve Mongo McMichael. Coming up next, we will have somebody who thinks they always belong or always deserve to be in the main event. And no, it's not Hulk Hogan. All right, now here we are back with a feature attraction, which a second ago I said it stars a person who thinks they should always be in the Hall of Fame, in the main event. And I guess that works for both of them. They both think that the whole thing should be around them. And no, it's not Hulk Hogan. It is. No, not that Macho Man. Well, yeah, I guess Macho Man. Macho Man Randy Savage. Set that heel with. Gotta go out there with her. Miss Elizabeth. And he will fight. The Ultimate Warrior. They both think they should be in charge. So here we go. Ultimate Warrior versus Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. All right. And it should be a toss-up, right? Who would I bet on? Forget that. My money's staying in my wallet. Yep, that is absolutely true. I don't know who's going to win this. Here we go. Savage, Ultimate Warrior. Feeling each other out. Savage is going for the pinfall. He uses the ropes after a snap suplex. 1. Yeah, right. Nope. Warrior kicks out at 2. Okay. Savage uses the ropes again after a chop to the chest. 1. 2. No, a Warrior. Interesting. The Savage was using the ropes, but the Warrior got to the ropes. Whatever. So Savage is realizing that maybe he needs to cheat to beat the Ultimate Warrior. Punches. Savage. It's an illegal pin attempt. The Warrior has his foot on the ropes, and Savage went for the flying axe handle. Now he's going for the illegal pin attempt. 1, 2. No interception for interference. And Warrior kicks out at 3. Or kicks out at 2, I should say. Warrior starting to fight back. All kinds of damage. If this goes long, though, I can't picture the Ultimate Warrior surviving very long. Savage with some punches. He hits an elbow on top of the head. He's going for the pinfall. Doesn't even get a 1 count. Backslide. Gets a 1, 2. No, Warrior kicks out at 2. All right. The Warrior's going for an illegal pin. Savage's foot is on the ropes, but the referee sees it. All right. Savage. And a camel clutch just for damage. Ultimate Warrior with a high suplex. He's going for the pinfall. 1, 2. No, Savage kicks out. Savage with some punches. Warrior with a choke. The referee is like, all right, we got to calm down here. 15-minute mark, and they're pretty close. Warrior with an illegal pin attempt. Savage's foot's on the ropes. It was the press slam splash, but the referee saw the foot. Without the foot, maybe the Warrior wins that. Not many people kicked out of that move. All right, Warrior's starting to put on the damage. He hits the press slam splash. He's got all 40s. I don't see how Savage kicks out of this. 1, 2, 3. Ultimate Warrior pins Randy Savage in 18 minutes and 54 seconds. Clean in the middle of the ring. And it was a 3.5-star match according to the game. I mean, you can't really call for Miss Elizabeth to do anything there, because what's she going to do? Yank on the Ultimate Warrior? She was basically just there for looks. So, this is kind of neat down here. It shows that Randy Savage is on a 3-match losing streak. To Ultimate Warrior, CM Punk, and Tito Santana. I like how it keeps that. All right, up next. Up next. I can't remember what's up next. But we'll be right back with something else. All right, here we are with our next match. This is going to be a fun one for everybody. We're going to go down to the Hall of Broken Dreams, which is Magnum TA. If you don't know why he's in the Hall of Broken Dreams, you should look him up. I guess I could just tell you. He was on track to be the next big thing in wrestling. He was probably going to be the next NWA champion. You knew that they had a rocket strapped to him, and then he got into a really nasty accident. Car accident, I think. Maybe a motorcycle. Let me just... on camera here. Accident. This was his car. Looks like a Porsche. But yeah. He survived, but it took a long time for him to be able to walk again, but he couldn't wrestle anymore. So he's the Hall of Broken Dreams. And it's kind of neat that I called him the Hall of Broken Dreams because his opponent today will be AWA's version of Scott Hall. They're basically the same character, but one for NWA and one for AWA. So there you go. In the complete mismatch, it says. I guess an upset is possible, but the odds are better that I'd get mauled by a polar bear and a regular bear, both on the same day, than Scott Hall pulling the upset. So this should be all Magnum TA, but I just thought it would be neat, like, I guess I could have put in like Razor Ramon or the NWO Scott Hall, but I wanted the same time frame because them old AWA guys can be fun. So here we go, Magnum TA in what should be a win in a face-to-face matchup. Watch, I'm just gonna predict this is gonna end in some stupid disqualification because it's face versus face, right? Let's go, Magnum TA and Scott Hall from AWA. Excuse me, Magnum TA with an arm hold, punches. Magnum TA with a big boot. He's going for the pinfall on Scott Hall. 1. Nope. Hall kicks out at 1. Outside the ring, TA's on the apron and Scott Hall's stomping on him. Scott Hall with a side roll. 1. Count. Okay, moving on. Scott Hall going for the illegal pin. His feet are on the turnbuckle. And he's going for it after a series of chops. 1. Nope. Somehow, the logistics of that, I don't get that. Scott Hall they're in the corner. Scott Hall has his feet on the second turnbuckle. And then Magnum TA somehow gets to the ropes. Okay. Moving on. Hall counters the dropkick. Irish whips TA into the turnbuckle, and somehow that's a pin attempt. 1, 2. Okay. TA kicked out. If he had lost on a whip into the turnbuckle, Scott Hall is using the ropes. The referee sees it. Hall with a running power slam, going for the pin. 1, 2. Magnum TA kicks out. Punches. Scott Hall tries for the Bulldog. TA counters it. And then turns it into a single leg Boston Crab for damage. It's too early for a submission. More arm hold. More damage. Another arm hold. Scott Hall's lasting longer than the experts expected him to. He delivers a chop to the throat and goes for a pin. 1, 2. No, TA kicks out. A lot of those. And wow. You guys all saw me do that live. Referee has a short fuse. The wrestlers are brawling. The ref calls for the double DQ. So this match, face to face, ended in a disqualification. I can't believe I predicted that. Gave it a 2.5 stars. So we have no winner there. So we have 2 matches left. I'm just going to keep you on screen here to do this next one. Because, well, no, I guess I can't. I have to set it up. And I record with my phone. And it's on the phone. So, be right back with... Well, for you, it'll be immediate. But for me, it'll be right back. All right, here we are with a special Battle Royal attraction. This is a 10-man Battle Royal that has been requested. And here are our entrants. Hillbilly Jim, the 80s version of Ric Flair, the 70s version of Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales, Face Sergeant Slaughter, mid-80s version of Tito Santana, mid-80s version of Tony Atlas, Jay Youngblood, of all people, heel version of Rick Rude, and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Here is our Battle Royal. All right. I don't normally do Battle Royals, so I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Let's just bring this out here, though, so we can look at the whole thing. Okay, let's go. All right, roll for elimination result. It's Tito and Slaughter. Tito survives. Okay, next battle, Morales, Rude. Pedro Morales has been eliminated by Rick Rude. So Pedro's the first one gone. Bruno and Hillbilly Jim. And what? Hillbilly Jim just eliminated Bruno Sammartino. Has there been a bigger upset? I mean, wow. Okay. What I love, too, by the way, in the background of this shot is it shows the 1986 Battle Royal from WrestleMania 2. Here's Haku. There's Hillbilly Jim right behind the names. That's Bill Fralick from the NWA. That's William the Refrigerator Perry from NBA. Sorry, not this is one of the Killer Bees. And there's Andre the Giant fighting with Big John Studd right there. So it was like a WWF versus NFL players. Anyway, Bruno eliminated... He's in there too, by the way. Bruno and Hillbilly Jim were in this Battle Royal. All right. So, up next, Slaughter and Rick Rude. And Rude eliminates Slaughter. So, Wow. Bruno, Pedro Morales, and Sergeant Slaughter gone almost immediately. In 2 minutes. Jay Youngblood survived. Okay. And we've got Santana and Atlas survived. Hillbilly Jim and Tito Santana. Hillbilly Jim tosses Tito Santana. Our dog just started barking. You go let him out, please.
Sure, if I get 8 and don't come back and miss me.
Yeah, hey, you know, that's going to be on YouTube, by the way.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Hillbilly Jim is the MVP so far. There's look at that. The 80s version of Ric Flair. Okay, Tony Atlas and Jay Youngblood. $1 Million Man and Ric Flair. Hillbilly Jim and Rick Rude. Rick Rude is gone. Hillbilly Jim is owning this Battle Royal. We're down to 5. Ric Flair can't eliminate Hillbilly Jim. Can Jay Youngblood? Yes. Look out. Jay Youngblood somehow eliminates Hillbilly Jim. Okay, Ric Flair and Tony Atlas. Jay Youngblood has been eliminated. Ric Flair, Tony Atlas, and the $1 Million Man are the last 3. Atlas and $1 Million Man team up. Ric Flair survives. Flair and DiBiase team up. Atlas is gone. Our final 2 are the Nature Boy and the $1 Million Man. Who will win? $1 Million Man, it turns it around. Flair's on the ropes. Flair has been eliminated. Ted DiBiase wins our special request Battle Royal. The $1 Million Man, he must have bought it off. Although I don't see Flair needing any more money, but he was kind of greedy. So, okay, that's it. Now up to our main event, which is a no DQ. I'll just stick with it right here. Hillbilly Jim was the MVP. I thought he was going to win that. Anyway, okay, now to our main event. Will be Ivan Putski, Polish Power, and George the Animal Steele. Where are you, George? Okay, missed him. And it will be a no DQ match, because this is a brawl. Okay, here we go. If you can honestly say you have a favorite in this one, then I will say you are goofy in the head. So it's a no DQ, and who knows who's going to win this. Last time around, Putski won by DQ. So that's why we have a no DQ match. Here we go with our, at the Bessemer's Explosive Jabs. Putski, Steele, no DQ. Steele counters the Polish Hammer. Steele mauls Putski all around ringside using anything that is not nailed down as a weapon. Steele throws Putski through the crowd. Just annihilating Putski with anything that he can get his hands on. Putski starts to fight back, and he's going for the pinfall after a high knee to the chest. 1. No, Steele kicks out. Damage in a full Nelson. Oh, Steele whips Putski face first into the ring post. Putski has a big cut on the point of his chin. So he's bleeding from his chin. Steele is biting Putski's eye. Lord. Steele with an illegal pin attempt. His feet are on the middle turnbuckle after a belly-to-belly. 1, 2, this could be it. Ropes. Putski, again, the logistics of it, but who cares? Putski with a backslide. He's trying to wrestle and Steele's brawling. 1 count on that. So Putski needs to wake up and change his strategy, or this is going to be nasty and ugly quick. Says manager comes to ringside to watch the match, and then he leaves. So maybe somebody's scouting George Steele here. Who knows? Putski steps on George Steele's throat and goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. He gets a 3 count on that. What is happening? He needed a 4 for the roll and got a 2. So he got the 3 count. George Steele loses. Putski has won both of these matches, and he's probably going to leave this behind because he could have got hurt in this one. Pinned in 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Graz World of Sports Gaming. And this was Don't Play with Matches, a wrestling special from Bessemer's Explosive Jabs in Bessemer, Michigan. Incorporated 1889, arena established in 1963. The 775 people that were here are going home happy. Some of them a little bit happier than others thanks to the 50-cent beers. And the ones at ringside, a couple of them are splattered with blood. So, all right. This has been a great attraction. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any requests for matches in the future, please let me know. I'll put anything on. In the next card, though, the request has already been put in for Andre the Giant and Big John Studd. So, see you next time.